Hi guys. So this is my first video as a 20-year-old. A lot of things have happened in the past few weeks. First I went to VidCon, you guys all know about that. I bought my first jar of Nutella and you guys insisted that I record my trying it for the first time. What? Oh my gosh. I officially exited my teenage years. And I read this book. This life-changing book. And I have a feeling I've found a brand new way to ruin my life. Isn't that right, Peter Malark? If you're looking for a way to become an unsociable shut-in for a while, The Hobbit should work just fine. I can't even begin to describe my love for this book. And I am so mad at myself that I waited this long to read it. Half the problem is I was never really into Lord of the Rings. I have nothing against it, it's just I've never seen the movies or read the books, and I just kind of kept telling myself I would and then just didn't. I know. Throw rocks at me, I deserve it. But with the Hobbit movie coming out, I decided I didn't want to go see this film without reading the book first. It's a personal philosophy of mine. So I got it on my Kindle and I was just like, okay, let's see how this is. And I was warned. It's a really tough read. It's really long. Tolkien is so boring. Okay, now it's time to take advice from me. If you're like me, and hard books are books written in Latin or Old English, something like that, read this book. It's not a tough read. It's just awesome. It's pretty decently long, but I feel like once you tackle the unabridged version of Les Mis, everything's pretty much a walk in the park. A really short walk in the park. Oh yeah, I should probably do a summary. So basically, we got Bilbo Baggins, who's a hobbit, who goes on a great, awesome adventure to steal a dragon's treasure and other stuff. It's just, you guys don't understand what I feel right now. I loved this book so much, and I will be rereading it over and over again for the rest of my life. I don't know what it is. I think it was just really nice to get back into, like, the magic scene again. I'm not talking, like, paranormal romances. I'm talking, like, magic and wizards and hobbits and dragons and talking dragons, elves. See, I think the last magical thing that I read other than Harry Potter was like the Inheritance series, which I also adore. It's really hard to make me impressed with fantasy books. Again, don't think fantasy and think Twilight. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like a talking unicorn that's trying to go on a journey to meet with the elves and fairies and go on an adventure to a sparkling rock where they can find the magic sword of Delichanimin, that kind of thing. I've tried a few because my dad's a big fan of these kind of things. Just add, my dad has excellent taste in books. Actually, my dad and my brothers were ultimately the people who made me read The Hobbit. So I finally sat down and did it, and oh my gosh, I don't regret it. I don't regret it one bit. It's my new favorite. It is right up there with my favorites. It's just amazing, really. The writing, the story, I adore Bilbo Baggins, and pretty much everyone else in this book. This is a good old-fashioned adventure. None of this side plotty nonsense. If anything's happening on the side of this adventure, it's relevant to everything. It's just good versus evil. What makes a hero? I love it. And I encourage all of you to read it. Talking about Tolkien's writing in this book, it's just captivating. He can go on and on about mountains and trees, but you don't mind it. You want to know about those mountains. You want to know about those trees. You want to know the short history of the Baggins family. He's very good at keeping you interested. Like, I don't even... Everything about it was perfect. I mean, you know, my usual stuff, character development, plot, and pacing. There is a reason why this book is a classic. I think maybe my favorite thing about this book is the themes. I know I'm an English major and I love to read and all that stuff, but I'm not the kind of person who sits there and reads a book thinking, what did the author mean by that? She brushed her teeth. Metaphor? I feel like some of the best themes in books are the themes that you don't really have to look for. Just as the story unravels, they kind of make themselves known. I mean, sometimes it might take a couple times to read it to realize that they're there, but I just don't believe that every single sentence is a metaphor for something. But anyway, themes of The Hobbit were great. Personal growth, what makes a hero? I especially loved the concept of safety. Like, if you remain in a safe place your whole life, how safe are you really? You're safe from outside elements, but you're not exactly safe from yourself. You're not safe from growing old and sad without having lived your life to its potential. Even though The Hobbit was published in 1937, I feel like that concept really applies to this generation. A lot of people never step out of their house, ever. Not for anything. This is an actual problem. I mean, yeah, we all love our computers and our characters, and we love to read and sleep, but I think we can learn a lesson from Bilbo Baggins. Go outside. Do things. I mean, yeah, you don't need to go on a quest to find dragon's gold. I mean, you won't find anything because dragons aren't real. I sound like a counselor. You know what I mean. Like, I have no complaints about this book. I just really want everyone in the world to read it. It has got me so pumped for the movie. I love him. It's introduced me to some of my new favorite literary heroes, and oh my gosh. For those of you who have read it, my favorite part is when Bilbo is battling the spiders and he names his sword Sting. It's just suddenly, Bilbo went from a guy who was just like, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home, to this sword. I shall call it Sting. Come at me, bro! And maybe The Hobbit was even a little bit inspirational because it could show that short people can be freaking awesome. Self-high five. Before I go, look at your Kindle case. Now look at mine. Now back at your Kindle case. Now back at mine. Sadly, your Kindle case is not mine. This Kindle case is hand-stitched and awesome, and it was made for me by the Blue Owl. You can find her on Etsy. A link will be below. She makes other things too, but she totally made this for me, and it's Finn from Adventure Time, which I love, and look how cute he is. And I just think it's awesome. It's adorable, and it snaps, and there's my Kindle inside, and look at the backpack. It's for real, like, you could put stuff in it. So yeah, do me and Finn a favor and check out the Blue Owl on Etsy. I just saw PETA cardboard out of the corner of my eye in the mirror. This is scary. That was really frightening.